We've got some big news here today, folks. Weazel News exclusive with Barry Bronze reporting live from just outside Bean Machine here in Los Santos. First, we've been taken captive once today and had the police tell me live in person that they do not care as much about my life and my well-being as they do about police lives. Now we're hearing from Mr. Owen Oakes that in fact an extraterrestrial named only as Ko from the planet Likma has come down here to say hello to our friends here in Los Santos, and he was struck by a police vehicle. And not only that, but the police then stomped on his body until he was unconscious. We can neither confirm nor deny the unconscious part, but it sounds a lot better than it already did. What's going to happen? Do we think that the police are corrupt here in Los Santos? It appears we've gathered quite a small crowd here. I'm going to ask some of these people and see if they can corroborate the stories. Sir, you've just approached right now. You are live on Weazel News. Please do not swear. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, sir. I have a question for you.
Is it?
Can I just take your first name, or if you want to give a fake name, that's totally fine.
Change.
No problem. My name is
State your name, cuz.
Would you repeat that for me, please?
Stormzy, innit?
Repeat.
What we're doing today?
Repeat.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Mr. Repeat, could you please just speak up for me a tiny little bit? Is that all right?
Yes, no problem, man.
The camera not pick up.
Yeah, you think about just speaking up a little bit louder for me, if you can do that. Probably as loud as you can do. That's a lot better, Mr. Repeat. So,
Thank you very much.
I have a question for you. We have been told live on Weazel News that the police are in fact corrupt and they do not care about civilian, criminal, or extraterrestrial lives as much as they care about police lives. Do you have anything to comment on this source?
Honestly, I do, man. Yesterday, I got accused of robbing a shop even though I owned the shop. And then I got run over while I'm in cuffs. The police are just getting worse and worse, everybody.
You got ran over whilst you're in cuffs, sir?
Yes, mate. And then apparently it was my fault because I'm running.
Oh my God. You've heard it here first live on Weazel News. The police are running over cuffed criminals and then blaming it on the criminals. How about the police step up and take some responsibility for their actions, Los Santos? Wouldn't that be nice?
Of robbing my own shop, even though I own my shop. Bullshit.
And imagine a man coming in to do his grueling 9 till 5 shift in his little shop, and the police come in, arrest him, and tell him that this is actually not his shop and that he's under arrest. Can you imagine the trauma that must put on a person? Weazel News live exclusive. I really appreciate you. You're so brave, Mr. Repeat, for sharing your story today. And the people of Los Santos will hear about this injustice, sir.
Okay, see you later, guys.
Have a good one, Mr. Repeat.
Oh, wait, before I go. The officer's name was Mr. Dom.
Mr. Don, was that? D-O-N?
No, D-O-M.
D-O-M, Mr. Officer Dom. He's the man who ran over.
To this lady in blue?
Perhaps we should.
Story for you.
Hello.
All right, everybody, we're just going to have to form an orderly queue. We've got so many stories going on at once, I can barely keep up. Hello there, ma'am. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What's the topic for the day?
The topic for today is police corruption within Los Santos. Do you have anything to say about that, ma'am?
I have two. Right, okay. Hear me out. First story. Did a bit of a house robbery yesterday, right? Who pulled up? Who do you reckon pulled up to a house robbery? Jack Space. Okay.
Jack Space, the commissioner of police.
Yeah, me and Jack go back a long time, you know. He asked me to stand out the car, searched me, saw I had a knife. Now, what would a police officer do if they saw I had a knife? What would you think they would do?
They would most probably arrest you for having a belated article, ma'am.
Nah, not Jack Space.
Did he let you go?
Away. No, he took it away and gave me the screwdriver.
You're telling me that he replaced your bladed article with a blunt instrument of death?
Yep.
This is a Weazel News exclusive. Jack Space is providing criminals of the city with very sharpened screwdrivers. And in case anybody doesn't know, in prison, a screwdriver is essentially a shiv. It's like a...
It does damage.
It's like a, what are those things called? You know, those little, what are they goddamn called? You know those Swiss Army knives? It's like a jack of all trades. You can use it for putting in like little screws into plug sockets, or you can use it to shiv your worst enemy. Live here, exclusive on Weazel News. Jack Space, the corruption charges go back really far, and honestly, the evidence is just piling up. Ma'am, would you have anything else to add to that?
I have another one. Everyone knows Lockridge Fuller. Okay, this is police in
classic.
general. Okay, I got took hostage. Okay, I was very scared. Had a gun to my head. Okay, I was on my
Thanks, yeah, I
knees.
appreciate you, man.
Group 6. It was a very scary situation. Fuller goes to the people with the gun to my head. You could have got a worse hostage because I don't care what happens to her. If she dies, I'm gonna have a party. Is what came out of his mouth.
This
Now that
is a
is
I was
Weazel
there for
News
that.
exclusive. Did you hear what that lady just said? That lady just said that a police officer informed her that even if she got shot in the face and bled out on the pavement, he could give less of a shit because... What
was
did he
there for
say?
that,
That he was a
wasn't I,
terrible
Adrian?
hostage? He said he was going to have a party if she died. Did you hear that, Weazel News? Does that sound like the kind of police officer, the kind of police department that you want protecting your children here in Los Santos? Do we think that that is the standard of policing that is set by Commissioner Jack Space? What do we think about that, folks? This comes after breaking exclusive Weazel News. Earlier, I was taken hostage for Evangelico shop robbery, and a police officer told me that police officer lives matter more than civilian lives. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? What do you have to say about that?
I got
I
something
reckon we
to
should
say.
order a protest. We should organise a protest.
I got something to say.
Mr. Repeat, what would you like to say, sir?
I traveled from India, Mumbai, all the way to here. I thought it'd be a safe and better life, but let me tell you that even though you can bribe them in Lahore, I mean Mumbai, even though you can bribe them, they still care about more. They still care about your life more than these
Oh,
idiots.
sorry.
Honestly,
Sorry,
it's disgusting.
Right, so basically, we're sat here in the car, right? Our mate, understandably, he's got underglow, which obviously isn't legal. But think about it. Right to our right, there is a giant car fire. A car's just exploded. You think being part of the police force and being part of protectors of the city, they might have a bit of insight on what to do about that. No, the more
See you later, Benjury. Love you, man.
race,
We appreciate you,
running
bro.
red lights, giving us shit for underglow, when there are people right next to us running red lights, speeding and shit. There's a giant car fire, then asked us for a drag race.
Wait, what was that? Have you just told me, live on Weazel News, that there was a car fire, an explosion, things were burning, things could potentially catch fire from that blaze, and the police were more interested in having a drag race with you, sir? Is that correct?
That's correct.
You've heard it here live on Weazel News, ladies and gentlemen. The police care about their own ego, inflating it via drag races, than actually reporting fires or even trying to stem the blaze before LFB can arrive on the scene. This is a Weazel News exclusive with your reporter, Barry Bronze. Ma'am, excuse me, gentlemen. Ma'am, today we're talking about police corruption
Hello,
within
sir.
Los Santos, okay? We've heard
Yeah.
exclusively that... Well, I'll put it this way, ma'am. Earlier today, I was taken hostage for evangelical robbery. It took 10 minutes before the police arrived on scene, and then the policeman told me that he was too busy saving police officers who'd been stabbed and that my life mattered less than their lives. What do you have to say about that and the corruption, the alleged corruption within the Los Santos Police Department?
I don't think that's corruption,
No, picture me in.
but I do see them do some things that are very questionable.
Yes, Alex.
Would you please elaborate
That,
on these questionable things, ma'am?
Sure, so just for fun, me and my friend, the blue-haired lady there, happened to do a big fantasy. Yeah, obviously it's not legal, and you know, it's not. I'm not proud of it as a person, but after the pursuit, we went on a fet, and the officer that was after me tased me
That's
out of
crazy.
nowhere while I was running, and his
Did you
excuse
have a
was
weapon, ma'am?
because no. So he tackled me first, so I tackled him back. So because I wanted to get away. and he just pulled his taser and tased me. And
You
then
heard it here
he
live
had-
on Weazel News, ladies and gentlemen. This lovely
Yeah.
lady here, she's had a difficult life, and she was forced to go into a life of crime. She had robbed a Evangelico jewelry store when a police officer who knew that she was unarmed decided to unleash his taser, 15,000 volts of electricity coursing through her veins as she had I'm assuming some kind of seizure on the floor. Did that police officer value this civilian's life, or did he just want to
Absolutely
get
not.
a W on his arrest record? That is
That
for
is
you to
probably
decide.
right.
That is exactly for you to decide at home, Weazel News. This lady here, she's told us exclusively about the police brutality here within Los Santos. Ma'am, do you have anything further to add to that?
They don't like lawyers. They don't like when you ask for a lawyer. Although it's,
Bro, everybody's
it's
queuing up
our
for
right to
stories,
ask for
man.
one. They're always like, "Oh, do you have a number?" Where like, if you have your own lawyer, just get one. I'm always like, "Well, you can provide me one, because I have reasons to want one." I got run over by police officers, tased unlawfully.
Wait, you
Multiple
got ran
times.
over by police officers, ma'am?
Yeah.
Would you mind
Happened.
describing the situation of that led to you getting run over?
Sure. So, I was out of a car and I was running, and at first I got hit by mistake, which felt like it was
Look
a
all the
mistake.
people
But
here,
then
man.
the person ran me over again.
Wait, so you're telling me that the police ran you over not once but 2 times?
Yep.
And
Shot
did
in
you
the
have a
head.
weapon? Or, I mean, honestly, even if you had a weapon, I don't think that's acceptable. This is the second
no,
report.
No, I had nothing. I was just running.
Oh my god, this is the second report we've had today of police unlawfully running over civilians and or criminals. I mean, honestly, folks, you're trying to arrest the criminal, right? You're trying to get that crime off the street. You're not
Yep.
trying to smear the crime all over the street by running them over. This is unacceptable. I do not approve of these practices. This is,
Me
in my
neither.
opinion, police brutality as shown and enforced by the Los Santos Police Department.